Well, good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Good morning.
I love coming here because there's so much positive energy here. You should take your positive energy and translate it out to the rest of the world, because we really need this positive energy, especially to get our economy back online. So it's fun to come here, and it's fun to share all the wonderful things that we're doing in Alhambra. Just to kind of get started, Alhambra, even though we're going through a really tough time, like everyone else as far as the economy is concerned, we have been able to continue to achieve a number of projects and a number of things that have really helped our community to move forward, especially during these recessionary times. Some of the projects that I'm going to share with you today are either under construction or have been completed in the last 12 months, and things are really starting to look up for us overall. The first project I wanted to share with you is the expansion of the Target store. It was kind of interesting because Target wanted to come in, level the store, and build one of their new state-of-the-art facilities, which would have built about 170,000 square feet over surface parking, and the store would have been elevated above the surface parking. We got through all of the entitlements, and right before they were ready to break ground, they encountered some soils issues, and they had to go through some cleanup. And in that process of cleaning up, the economy just completely collapsed, and Target decided to abandon the new development in favor of a rehabilitation of the store. So what was nice about it is that we got the expansion, a $5.6 million expansion. We got a grocery component. We didn't have to subsidize the project at all, but we did work with them to get them through plan check in a very fast pace. And overall, it's been a great addition. They've done new landscape. It's a really nice project. We also worked over the last few years at bringing a new development just across the street from Target off of Main Street. And many of you that drive through Alhambra probably have seen the new Fresh and Easy store that we have in the nice center that we helped to build with Panettone Development. Unfortunately, we tried for years to get an electronics store in Alhambra. We did get Circuit City for a very short period of time. They were just weeks away from opening when the company decided to declare bankruptcy, and they scrubbed the project, which was bad luck for us. And I can't tell you how many different types of tenancies came through and wanted to occupy that store. Many of these tenancies weren't the kind of tenancies that we wanted, and we declined a number of them. It was a frustrating process. However, we started to court the Howard's folks, and we developed a real strong relationship with their CEO and their executive staff level, and convinced them that Alhambra would be a good place to open up their new store. And lo and behold, we did work with them, and today we do have a brand new Howard store, and it's a beautiful store, state-of-the-art, and they're doing quite well, as I understand. We are really big into our downtown development, and we love restaurants. And even though we work at bringing really good quality restaurants to the city, sometimes restaurants tend to go out of business. We worked very hard to bring the Cuban Bistro, and they were with us for almost about, I think, 11 years. Did great business there, but they decided to go in a different direction. And as a result, that opened up that space. What Alhambra loves to do is we like to take all of these old buildings that aren't up to code. We invest money into those buildings, we work with the property owners, and what we do is we find tenants for them. But we found the Boteco people. This is a new Brazilian restaurant that's been open. Tomorrow night, I believe they're having a big festivity there. It's a salsa cook-off, or salsa chili. I guess it's salsa cook-off, yeah. I've been asked to be a judge, so I don't know how I'm going to do tomorrow.
So that'll be perfect.
Oh, great, terrific. Well, anyway, but it should be interesting. But it's a great restaurant, a lot of great energy, great activity there. Again, the nice thing about it, initially we invested money into these buildings, but every time something becomes available, you don't have to bring the building up to code anymore because the infrastructure work has already been done. So this group replaced the Cuban Bistro. It didn't cost the city any assistance in this particular development. And then, again, they've added another nice entity into the downtown uses. We also have been working with the Charlie's Trail folks. They have been with us since the inception of our downtown development. They do great work there. They're incredible. They own not only Charlie's Trail, but the 38-degree restaurant across the street. We talked to them about creating a really nice wine bar there, or wine lounge, I should say. We did invest some money into this, about $50,000 worth of financial assistance. They did open their doors. It's a great place. They have an incredible selection of wines and a great ambiance there. If you haven't been there yet, I would highly recommend you going there because you'll have a terrific time. This is the new addition that we've added. Originally we had Baja Fresh. Baja Fresh is good use. I'm not sure that we were a Baja Fresh community overall. And we had a couple of runs with them, and unfortunately, they didn't really do as well as they thought they should, and they took a different direction. However, we did learn about the doghouse concept. They're in Pasadena. I think they have 2 restaurants there. And we worked through the developer of this property, and they made contact with them. And the city put $110,000 of CDBG financial assistance to help make more improvements to this facility. They opened up a couple of weeks ago, and I'm telling you, all day, it's almost standing remotely trying to get in there and to buy their products. I didn't realize you could have that many variations of the hot dog. But it's incredible. They've come up with some really interesting concepts, and their burgers are outstanding as well. And it's a great place because families go there, young people just love it, and it's just ongoing. So and I just love the colors. We love bright colors in Alhambra. The brighter, the better. And the reason for that is because signage is important, but all of the brightness and the wonderful colors really bring life into a downtown area. So we strongly encourage it. Here's a project that we're working on right now. This is the City Ventures project, or the Main Street Collection, as it's now been called. It's a project that will bring basically mixed-use development to our city. What's really interesting, this is the site that used to be the former library site. We built a new library next to City Hall, which was basically a $30 million investment for us. We've had over 1 million people come through our library today. And in addition to this, we took the old library site and created $30 million of new value. As you can see from the description on the slide there, it's going to create an incredible amount of housing and also some retail space on the ground floor level. This is really helping us to define our new downtown, and it's becoming very glitzy and glamorous, and we have more work underway. But I love this project because I never really liked the look of the old library, and this makes an incredible statement. So anyway, it's certainly something that's going to add to our city. Here's a project. Would you believe that this is affordable housing? This project will offer 8 families in need of first-time home buyer opportunities. We've had a lottery already. We have built this incredible condominium townhome project, and essentially it's a really nice opportunity. And Alhambrans were able to participate in a lottery, and 8 families were fortunate enough to get it. We've had to slow down a little bit because of the wind down of redevelopment. What happened is that the city has become the successor agency for housing, and this asset has been transferred back to the city. Otherwise, it would have been an asset of the state of California. I'm not sure why, because they didn't build it, but we did, but that's how things go. Here's another project that has been a little slow in starting because there has been some soils contamination. I learned a great deal by this because there used to be a cleaners on that site. We didn't believe they were doing much work on the site other than taking clothes, and we thought they were cleaning the clothes elsewhere, but unfortunately there was some spillage from that use, and we've had to go through the process with the property owner to help clean it up. They're almost done. I'd say they're probably another maybe 60 days from finishing up the work. But they have done their offsite improvements. When they get underway, and we hope that that'll be this summer because they're fully entitled, that'll basically create another $30 million project on that particular site with housing and retail use on the ground floor level. This project is going to the council on, I believe, May 14th. They will, if the council approves it, they will have their specific plan done. That means they'll be fully entitled. They are working on their construction plans. They will be building a $40 million project on that corner, and it will have room for retail space on the ground floor level. I think they're probably going to bring in a boutique-style market back onto the site, but we'll have more residential development on that site. And as you can see from the elevation on the right-hand side, it's a very glamorous-looking project, and it will be replacing the former Super A site. This project is under construction at this time. Nice thing about this project, it's a $45 million project. It didn't cost us anything. The county was looking for a place for their corporate center for their economic development operation. What we did is we worked with them. We got them fully entitled. We started in late September, and they were fully entitled by December. They had a demolition permit in their hand by June of 2011, and they are, I believe, going to be occupying the building in September of 2012. Nice thing about this, 575 new employees on site, all very well-positioned jobs. Most of the folks there will probably have an income level of $80,000 plus a year, and it adds more people into downtown. One of the things that we asked them not to do is to put a full-blown cafeteria in the site, because we want those folks walking around in our downtown buying meals and shopping in the downtown during their lunch breaks, and either before or after work as well. But it's going to be a gorgeous project when it's all said and done. These are three projects. The AHMC healthcare group purchased the old AT&T building. They're bringing a staff of about 400 medical personnel, mostly doctors. I gather the income level will be well above 200,000 in those areas. I'm speculating anyway. And it'll be great. I think they've already occupied it now, or they started to occupy it as of the last couple of weeks, because I've seen people going in and out, so I'm assuming they're in there. The other project to the right is the Southern California Edison Data Center. They're almost finished with their construction. Overall, that's a $75 million project with equipment and building. We're still working out a couple of things as they wind down on the construction process, but it's going to be a nice center. That'll bring about 50 people. I think overall they're probably going to put 200 people in there eventually, and this is probably the first of a second phase that will be developed on that site as well. And then, of course, the project that I just highlighted a couple of minutes ago with the county headquarters as well. This project here, and everyone keeps asking, what is happening with the Alhambra place? And believe me, you know what? No one is more frustrated than I, and I can tell you the council is equally as frustrated because there's, excuse me, I'm sorry. Some folks really shouldn't own property and operate it, but the company that owns this out of Philadelphia just hasn't been able to do anything with it. And I'm happy to report that the property is up for sale. They've gone through this very secretive bidding process, and we really don't know what they're doing essentially. We get tidbits of information from major developers that are all vying for the project, but we know that what we've heard is it's been narrowed down to one company. Who that company is and what they're willing to pay and what they're going to do, I'm not sure yet. We're strongly encouraging companies to come and talk to us, and some have and some haven't. So I'm sure we're going to be getting a visit shortly. But what we're anticipating here, we know that there will be at least 3 major tenants, national tenants on that site, with a smaller group of national tenants joining as well. And we're going to get that because we're going to force the issue. We want to make sure that that is a showpiece development when it's all said and done. Right now, the zoning calls for 140,000 square feet of retail use with about 250 for sale units of housing. That's what the Jerry Snyder Company had entitled it for. We're certainly open-minded to varying that, zoning ordinance, provided that the city gets the types of uses and the type of makeup that it wants for our community. So we are willing to discuss that, but we'll see how that goes. This piece of property is off of Fremont. Now this property, 10 acres of the property have been sold. The International Extrusion site has been sold to the Charles Company. They're a very well-known development company. They want to develop a retail site. They are working at putting the balance of the property together and they're looking at buying a number of properties just to the north of the Coles project so they can begin their project. There's two concepts on this. They have a couple of letters of intent from two major tenants, both of them about 150,000 square feet, with a couple of box users for 30 and 40,000 square feet respectively. It might be a little too big for that site, so we're looking at other options. The second option would be maybe to go with 4 boxes, averaging 30 to 40,000 square feet per box. All of them are national tenants. All of them would be the type of tenants that cities would turn backflips for. I've talked with the tenants. They are interested. They want to be in Alhambra in the worst way. The problem with Alhambra is, we're built out, and it's really difficult for these major tenants to find large enough pieces of property to build, but these folks are probably going to wind up there. So between the Alhambra place and this site, we will probably pick up anywhere from maybe about 7 major national retail tenants that will come to Alhambra in the next 24 to 36 months. One of the things that we love to do in Alhambra is we love to do a lot of landscaping. If you drive around our city, you will see pots with plants and colorful plants and flowers in them, and then you will look at landscaped areas, median islands. We have done in the last 10 years, we have rebuilt streets and installed median islands and landscape to a tune of $23 million worth of work. Well, we're not done yet. Our job is to make this the most pleasantly looking community in the West San Gabriel Valley. As you can see, all of the road work in red has already been accomplished. Everything in gold is the next phase, of which Garfield will be getting a new overlay and construction work north of the freeway up to the city limits, to the north up by Huntington. And then, of course, the Midway track, which is that gold area down to the southern portion of the city, will be getting brand new water, sewer lines, and brand new streets. We're out to bid on both projects at this time. And we just got an award of $2 million, which we're going to be working on. But we're going to be putting median islands and reconstructing the street on Mission Road from Garfield all the way to the city limits. So in addition to all of that vine work that we planted by the railroad areas, you're going to see brand new median islands and brand new street reconstructive work is there as well. Everything in blue, we're looking to find funding to do because we want to redo all of our streets in our southern portion of our city and some work up in the northern area. But I would say in the next 5 to 6 years, we'll probably have 90% of the city all redone. In addition, and I don't have slides for this, but just to give you a real quick, just a couple minutes here, we are looking to pick up another 2 to 3 auto dealerships. An announcement will be made probably by the end of May that we have a brand new dealership coming in, and I won't make the announcement here. I'll let the owner make that announcement. But we are also just beginning negotiations with another major auto dealer that wants to be here in Alhambra. We have found a location for them. They are working at developing a lease with the property owner, and we hope to be making that announcement shortly as well. Also, we start working on the PEO home project, which is a senior project, along with the housing at the Alhambra. The Alhambra is also planning to build another retail box with a parking structure as well. We are working on building a parking structure behind Charlie's Trio. That'd be about a $5 million parking structure. We were all set to go and start the development process on that when the redevelopment agency issue came to fruition. So we've had to slow down a little bit on that. Also, Honda is getting ready to build a parking structure on their new car dealership site. That's probably about a $5 million structure as well. We're working on 2 to 3 new restaurants in the downtown quarter, and we just adopted a new economic development ordinance. And the reason for that is because we need to do economic development and pay the bills. Unfortunately, the state of California, in its wisdom, decided to put redevelopment out of business. I'm not sure that was a good idea because That is the only economic development tool and the only economic development arm in the state of California outside of the private sector. Private sector develops obviously the majority of the work, but there are cities and there are projects and there are areas that the private sector won't tackle because the money and the funding just isn't available, or the economic stuff doesn't make sense. And that's where the redevelopment agencies were valuable. That's not going to be available any longer. But Alhambra does have an ordinance that it adopted. It does mirror the powers of the redevelopment agency. And we're actually starting to implement some of those powers at this time. Finally, we're just finishing up our draft budget. We'll be sharing that with our city council. We have a balanced budget. We aren't laying off. We're not furloughing. We're not cutting services. We're not doing any of that. We've been really good stewards of our financial future, and we do have money in the bank, and we're pretty sound, and hopefully we'll remain that way because we really truly believe that economic development, building our way out of a financial problem, is the way to go, and we'll continue to do that, and we'll see how it goes. But welcome all of you to the city of Alhambra. If you don't live there or you don't work there, please come to our city, spend your money. We love visitors. We love all of you to come to our city. We're very proud of it, and if you're looking at investing, if you're looking at doing anything from a business standpoint, please give us a call. We'd be happy to help you as well. Thank you very much.